This is the M82 90mm shell. The M82 has a mass of 10.91 kilograms and a muzzle velocity of 853 meters per second when fired out of a 90mm M36 cannon. This means that in a scenario without air resistance, it would have a momentum of about 9,300 kgms. This is a T-55A. It has a mass of 36,000 kilograms and is currently at rest. If our M82 shell were to hit the T-55, it would most likely end up in an inelastic collision. Due to conservation of momentum, the remnants of the shell in the T-55 would travel at a velocity of about 0.26 meters per second after the collision. An example of objects exploding apart from each other is a cannon firing a shell. A 90mm M3 cannon has a mass of 1,030 kilograms, so if it were to shoot an M82 shell at its usual 853 meters a second, the gun will recoil at about 0.11 meters a second. Our M82 shell bouncing off of the T-55 can also be used to show an elastic collision, though it might not seem like it. This shell is traveling at its ideal 853 meters a second at an 11-degree angle from the armor plate. Because we know these two things, we can break the vector down into its vertical and horizontal components. Using some trigonometry, we can determine that the vertical velocity is about 163 meters a second. The horizontal velocity is pretty irrelevant at this point, so we can just throw that away. Let's say then that the shell bounced back at a velocity of 142 meters per second. Doing the math leads us to find that the T-55 would be knocked back at a velocity of 0.22 meters a second.